Here's check-on stories we're following for you on Whdd Radio. Well, some new Connecticut laws took effect on January 1st, a handful of laws, even as the COVID-19 pandemic shut down the legislature for much of the year. The laws that took effect mean some big changes in some places. Police will now have to undergo regular behavioral health assessments in order to stay on the force, the requirement part of a sweeping police reform bill the legislature passed over the summer. And police will need to get behavioral health checks every 5 years. The hope is to identify when officers need counseling. Departments also need to tell the state about efforts to recruit minority officers. Officers will also need to clearly display their badges and name tags if they interact with the public or make arrests. A handful of other new laws also started last Friday. Diabetics can now get one emergency prescription a year for medications, syringes, and other equipment. Pharmacists must give a 30-day supply, and the price is capped by law. The law also caps how much pharmacists can charge for emergency prescriptions. Also new this year, some seniors will see a bigger tax break. They can now deduct 28% of pensions and annuities from their state income taxes. That's double the 14% from last year, and the break will eventually reach 100% in 2025. Another new Connecticut law states electric utilities must tell regulators how they plan for and respond to major snowstorms, hurricanes, and other events. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority will use that information to set minimum staffing levels for future storms. A lot of workers are going to see 0.5% taxes on their paychecks. That's the funding for a new paid family medical leave program, which extends sick time. Workers who qualify can take up to 12 weeks of paid leave from work if they or a family member are ill. However, qualified employees won't start receiving those benefits until 2022. Columbia Green Community College has announced it's delaying the start of its spring semester by 1 week. They announced last week it'll begin the spring semester January 25th, a 1-week delay because of the COVID-19 pandemic. There were 4 new COVID-19 deaths in Greene County. The Public Health Department reported this weekend. They reported 4 new deaths. The department announced in that statement 2 of those deaths occurred on Friday. The other 2 deaths occurred a little earlier in the month, but they were not confirmed or counted until now. The 4 additional deaths from the virus bring Greene County's total to 28 since the beginning of the pandemic. With about 70 staff having tested positive for COVID-19, a flood of hospital visits on New Year's Eve to the Berkshire Medical Center forced them to have employees keep on working after their shifts ended. The rush of patient visits, though, was not a pandemic-related surge, but rather one of the hospital's occasional pre-holiday flurries, possibly mixed with people looking for virus testing since the company's testing center was closed that day. The majority were not COVID, according to Jennifer Vrabel, Director of Development of the Berkshire Health Systems, noting that the testing center reopened on Friday. New York's new sick leave laws went into effect on Friday. New York is one of 15 states with a paid sick leave law, and workers can use that to recover from an illness themselves, care for a sick family member, or seek help for themselves or a family member for domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, or human trafficking. About 1.3 million New Yorkers did not have access to paid sick leave before the law, according to Governor Cuomo's office, and nearly 1 in 4 workers have reported being fired or threatened with termination for taking sick time. So meetings coming up in our area today in Kent. The Board of Selectmen have their special meeting at 10 o'clock. At 6:30, the Kent Fire Department has their special monthly meeting. Also coming up today at 3 o'clock, Region 1 Board of Education has a budget subcommittee meeting. Then the Region 1 Board of Education has a meeting coming up tonight at 6:30. That is a Zoom meeting. All that information is available at their website. In Dover, the Planning Board has their regular meeting. That is at the town of Dover. It's on YouTube and Zoom. Today in Salisbury at 5 o'clock, the Board of Selectmen meet, and at 6:30, the Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission will meet. Now, the Salisbury Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission is one of the major items on that meeting for tonight is a show cause hearing, cease and correct 145 Taconic Road, Washington Heights, cutting and removal of vegetation in the upland review area along the railroad causeway without the benefit of permits. It is a show cause hearing. Village of Millerton has their workshop meeting. That is tonight at 6 o'clock on Facebook. In Hillsdale, New York, the town board's organizational meeting for this year is at 6 p.m. It's on Zoom. In Sheffield, the Select Board has their meeting. It's a virtual meeting that starts at 7 p.m. COVID-19 testing in the comfort and safety of your home, with results available within 24 to 48 hours, being provided by Mobile Care Partners. That COVID-19 testing will be January 5th. There's limited supplies. You must register no later than 5 p.m. on January 4th. Call, text, or email for details and registration, 860-419-5925, info@mcpct.com, or on the web, mcpct.com. It's brought to you by Mobile Care Partners of Connecticut in partnership with the Center for DNA-Guided Medicine. Coming up on Wednesday in Kent, the Board of Education at Kent Center School has their regular meeting at 5 p.m. The Town of Dover Zoning Board of Appeals has their regular meeting on Wednesday. That is a Zoom meeting. The Sheffield Ashley Falls Historic District Commission has a meeting coming up on Thursday at 4 p.m. That is via Zoom or by calling in on your telephone. The town of Ankrum will hold its 2021 organizational meeting on January 7th at 6:30 via Zoom. The information is available on their website. Meanwhile, a planning board meeting is happening on January 7th at the Ankrum Town Hall at 7 p.m. In Cornwall on Saturday, 4:30 till 6 p.m., Laurie Simmons and Lena Dunham, an online screening and conversation of The Music of Regret. The Community Health and Wellness Center has a coronavirus COVID-19 testing coming up January 11th, 9:30 until 12 noon. Salisbury Visiting Nurse Association, park and lot and walk to the tents at 30A Salmon Kill Road. It'll go on while supplies last. If you've been tested, it's quick, free, and confidential. 860-489-0931. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgans at the Interlake and interlakeandinn.com. You'll also find them on Facebook, and by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com. Dow Jones Industrial Average will start off the week at 30,606.48, the NASDAQ at 12,888.28, and the S&P 500 at 3756.07. We'll take a look at the tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few moments.